We are recording. All right. This is your review for the test. You will have your cheat sheets. I hope you're filling those out. All right. You can use this video to make final touches to your cheat sheet if you need to. All right. The test is going to be 20 questions. The questions are all pulled from old tests, so nothing should be new. All right. I don't believe any of them are that difficult, but we're going to go through them. All right. And you can ask me questions when we're done. All right. Number 1, I've taken off all the answer choices. All right. So you can't just be like, A. 1 is A, 2 is F. You can't do that because there's no answer choices on here. All right, but let's take a look at what we do have. It says, on a test, Henry answered 4 out of 5 of the questions correctly. Alex answered 3 out of 4 of the questions correctly. Sandra answered 7 out of 10 of the questions correctly, and Mariah 13 out of 20 of the questions correctly. Who answered the most questions correctly? To answer this one, and you might want to write this down, change everything to a percent. Everything. All right. So instead of 4 over 5, we're going to divide. What goes inside?
4.
4, top number goes inside. 5 on the outside. That gives me 0.8. What's 0.8 as a percentage?
8%.
80%. All right. 3/4. You should know this percentage off the top of your head. 75%. 7 over 10 as a decimal is 0.7, which is 70%. 13 out of 20. You're going to say 13 divided by 20. That's 0.65 or 65%. So we've got 80%, 75%, 70%, 60%. Who has the highest percentage? Henry. Henry answered the most correctly. All right. Number 2. It says in Minnesota during the winter, Jamie recorded the temperatures in the table below. Put them from warmest to coldest. All right. Now, on these, you got to keep in mind that these two are negatives, which means that they're cold. All right. Everybody understand that? Good. All right, so which one of these is the warmest temperature? 12. This is the warmest, so I'm going to put a 1. What's the next? 2. And then next? -15. Guys, in the end, it's pretty common sense. The earlier in the morning you get, the colder it gets, right? Noon is typically the hottest time of the day. So there's a lot of common sense to this one as well. But anyway, it would be 12, 10, -8, -15. When in doubt, you can draw a number line. Woo! Number 3. Elliot was given the integer cards to put from least to greatest. Let's order them from least to greatest. Which is my smallest? -5. All right. The larger the negative, the smaller the overall number. All right. What's next? Then?
-3.
Good. Next?
1.
And then that leaves 2 as our 5th. Alright. Both of those will be multiple choice, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Next question should be very familiar. Tests. The space below. Draw the solid that represents these views. Well, what is the view? Number 4. It's a cylinder. Done. That's easy. Number 5. Someone's already said it because they're looking at the wrong one. What 3D shape is number 5? Cone. Christmas tree. Please write cone and not Christmas tree. Alright. Number 6. The coordinates of point P is 3, 9. We can already see that P has been plotted right there. What would the new coordinate for point P if the point was translated 3 units to the right and 7 units down. So, if I went 1, 2, 3 to the right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, so my new coordinate is now 6, 2. Over 6, up 2. Everybody see that? Alright, again, that should look pretty familiar. Alright, ready for the easiest question on the test?
Yes.
Boom, number 7. What is that? Easy enough. Reflection. Flip. Alright, again, this one should look pretty familiar. We need to find the middle of the line segment. Well, guys, just look at the line. How far across is the line? Should remember that just from the time we took this test. It's 8 across, so halfway would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is halfway mark. If you look at it, it looks like it's halfway in the middle, right?
Yep.
So, to get there, you go 1 to the right and 2 down. So what is the coordinates? 1, negative 2. That's right 1 and down 2. Alright? Guys, in the end, it's multiple choice. Alright? So, plot all the points. If you can't figure this out, just plot all the points and figure out which one lands in the middle of the line. Alright? It's not too shabby. It shouldn't be too hard at all. Not too shabby. Alright, time. It says, which quadrant would 3, negative 4 be? Well, that's right 3 and down 4. That's right here. What quadrant are we in? 4. Again, that's another easy one. Number 10. Guys, this is one of the most missed questions we had this year. What do we use to solve this? PEMDAS. Alright, so first thing in PEMDAS is parentheses. So, 12 divided by 2. 6. Now, don't be lazy. Rewrite it. So now we've got 2 cubed plus 3 squared times 6. The next thing, what is E? Exponents. Do we have any exponents?
Yes.
Yes, we've got 2 cubed. What is that?
4.
It's 8. 2 to the third means 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Plus, what's 3 squared?
9.
Good. And then times 6. Next is multiply. We have 9 times 6.
54.
We don't have any division. We do have addition. 8 plus 54.
62.
That's our answer. This one is not multiple choice. You've got to be able to work it out. $11. What is the value of this expression? Again, PEMDAS. First thing is parentheses. What's 2 plus 7? 9. Now rewrite it. 45 plus 5 times 9 plus 4. There are no exponents. There is multiplication. 5 times 9. All right. There's no division. There is addition. 45 plus 45. 90 plus 4. 94 is our answer. Hopefully so far simple. Number 12. A bag of chestnuts costs $5.84 including tax. There are 4 dozen chestnuts in each bag. What would the cost of 5 dozen chestnuts be? To solve this, you make your proportion. This is how you set your proportion up. We're going to put the cost over the dozen. So, on our original purchase, what was the amount we paid? $5.84. And how many dozen did we get for that original purchase? 4 dozen. Do we know how much the next is going to cost?
No.
That's what we're solving for. So, that's 5 dozen though. So we've got to figure out how you get from 4 to 5.
Add 1 and multiply by.
We've got to figure out what you multiply by. So 4 times something equals 5. How can I figure out what that something is? Divide. 5 divided by 4. Well, that's 1. That's 2. And 5. So times 1.25. So what are you going to think we're going to do up here? Times 1.25. So you're going to say 5.84 times 1.25. Alright. I've given you plenty of room to work this out. So, 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 2 is 42. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29. Add our 0. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Add our zeros. And then 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 8 is 8, and 1 times 5 is 5. Add everything up. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places, so we want 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So $7.30. Alright? It's the mean multiplication, but you guys can do it. Alright, number 13. It wants to know what each model here represents as far as an equation. Well, when we're writing down an equation using a number line, where should it always start? 0. So that right now takes away 2. Which 2 does it immediately take away? 1 starts here at -8 instead of 0. So this one isn't it. What else? The third one here starts at +8. So that doesn't work. Alright. So, if we're starting right here at 0, what was the first thing that we did?
Added 8.
We added 8. So we had a +8, +8. And then what did we do?
Subtract 3.
We went back 1, 2, and 3. So 8 minus 3. Okay. Down in this one, what do we have first?
Minus 8.
We had a -8. And then what do we do? Add 3. Alright. It's important that you can compare this to that and this to that. Okay. Alright, and then on 14, it says a caterer must prepare 24 small cakes for dessert at an event. Each cake will need 3/8 cup of icing to decorate the top. How much icing will the caterer need to decorate the cakes? Alright, so what do I do? How do I solve this? We multiply. Alright, this is a pretty simple word problem here. There's 24 cakes. We need 3/8 a cup of icing for each. So we're going to multiply 3/8 times 24. Well, you could change to a decimal, or we can just put 24 over 1, right? It's the same thing. Just multiply them as fractions. What's 3 times 24?
72.
72. 8 times 1?
8.
How many times will 8 go into 72?
9.
That's not too bad, is it?
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Number 15 says, James started out at his part-time job earning $7.50 an hour. At this rate, how much did he make if he worked 18 hours? What do I got to do? Multiply. I sure hope that y'all can do that, because that's something you'll do in real life. Alright, he's making $7.50 an hour. He worked 18 hours. $135 big ones. Pretty simple. 16. An Olympic-sized swimming pool is 25.5 meters wide, 51.8 meters long, and 3 meters deep. What is the volume of the pool? Well, how do we find volume?
Length times
Length times width times height. Alright, so we'll start out with our length times our width. That would be 51.8 times 25.5. And this is going to be fun. Alright, it's 40, that's 9, 25. Again, you have plenty of room to work this out on the paper. You have 40, 9, 25. Finally, 2 times 8 is 16. That's 3, and that's 10. Alright, so we got 1320.9. Now we've got to multiply it by the height. What was the height?
3.
So 1,962.7. That's number 1.
Wouldn't it be 3
Yeah.
instead of 1?
Do what now?
Wouldn't it be 3 instead of 1? Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's 3. Alright, so 3,962.7. That's the volume. Alright. Number 12. The figure below represents the number of students in Kate's class. In Kate's class, 1/3 of the students are girls. In the grid above, lightly shade the figure to represent the number of girls in Kate's class. So, I'm going to go... Alright, so 1/3 of these. So, that just means I'm going to go 1/3 of the way over. There we go. Does everybody see how I did that? Of the girls in the class, half of them have at least one brother or sister. In the grid, shade the portion of the figure that represents the number of girls who have at least one brother or one sister. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut this, I'm going to cut what I've already shaded in half. Alright. How many girls in Kate's class have at least one brother or sister? 4. Alright. Now, on our test, we'll be doing that with a pencil. So the first time you'll shade real lightly, and then you'll shade darker. Okay? Just make sure I can see what you did and you'll be fine. Alright? So that shouldn't be too difficult. I believe in you guys. Right. 18. The diagram below shows the front face of a stack of identical cubes. Okay? It says which equation can be used to determine the length of a side of the front face. Well, if we're looking at the front face, what is the length of the side?
3.
3. Right here is 3. Well, of these, what is square root of 9?
3.
Do you know the square root of 3? I don't know it either. Is the side 81?
No.
Is the side 9?
No.
Then this is an easy problem. Do not get suckered into picking that one right there because it has the number 3. That's what they want you to do. That's not us. All right, number 19. It's a very heavily missed problem. It says the number of seats available at a football stadium is 655. During a football game, 393 seats were filled. What percent of the seats at the football stadium were filled? Well, we can make a fraction right now. That's 393 of the 655 seats were filled. Okay? Now, a lot of you guys, when we took the test and had this question, stopped right there. Can't stop right there. All right? Now, if this reduces, I don't know what by. All right? I don't know. I don't think it does. It might. I don't know. So, I'm going to go ahead and solve it just like it is. Which means I have to divide. All right? What number goes inside?
393.
What number goes outside?
65.
All right. Is this going to be pretty or easy? No. But we can do it, I promise. How many times will 655 go into 393?
0.
All right. Right there leads us to our decimal. Now we're looking at 3,930. So just give me a guess. 5 is a pretty good guess. Let's give it a shot. 655 times 5. That is 25, 27, 32. Can we go higher? I think we could probably go higher. Let's check it out. 655 times 6. That's 30. 6 times 5 is 30. Plus the 3 is 33. 6 times 6 is 36. Plus 3 is 39. Look at that. That's perfect. 0.6. What is 0.6 as a percentage?
60%.
60% of the seats were filled. Comes out perfect. A lot of you guys get to this point where we're dividing and the division looks nasty, so you just stop. I promise you, if you give it a few tries, it's not that bad. Okay? All right, last question. Which group contains an equal fraction, decimal, and percent? All right, this question will trick you. I promise you. Change everything. Change everything to a percent. All right? So if we look, and I'm going to zoom in real close for us. If we look at this, 1/2, what is that as a percentage? 50%. Now, this number right here, what is that number? It's a whole number. It's 50. All right? If we change 50 to a percent, how many times do I move my decimal? 1, 2. That is 5,000%. Do those match? No. All right. Next. 4 over 5. That's 4 divided by 5. Which is 0.8, which is what percentage? 80%. We have 0.80. If I go bam, bam, I now have 80%. Do all those match? Yes, they all match. All right, 2/3. You should know this off the top of your head. What is that as a percentage?
33.
Nope, 2/3.
Oh, 66.
There we go, 66.6%. Do those match? No. 1/4 is 25%. You should know that already. All right. These two match, but this is 2.5, which means it becomes 250%. Does not match. This is your only good choice. All right. Now, remember, when you get home, and hopefully when you get home you will watch this video, you can write whatever you want to write on that piece of paper, on that cheat sheet. I don't care what it is. If you want to copy down every single thing on this paper, questions, answers, everything, do it. I don't care. That's your piece of paper. All right? Everybody understand that? All right.